Okay, so here we are. We've it's been a while since I've updated the project, but we've put our floor in. We finished the grout yesterday. We're about to install the toilet over there. It has actually been sitting in the garage, so we are letting it come back up to room temperature. It's about 20 degrees outside, so there's a lot of condensation and all that good stuff, so it's sitting on some plastic. Got a little space heater here, just kind of warming the room to get this back up. Don't want any cold porcelain when I'm trying to fit it onto the bolts and everything. I don't want any extra cracking. But we discovered something when we did the floor here. Let me see if I can get my camera to focus. With the tile, we knew that we were going to have to raise up the toilet flange, or what they call the closet flange. So now we're just a hair above where the tile is, and that's okay. We're still going to put a wax ring on that and all that good stuff. A couple of things. They took the old flange that the previous owner installed, and went directly to the subfloor instead of having it up on top of the existing tile and whatnot, which is fine because we were able to extend this up. But that is why we had all that mold and such around, because there was some moisture getting between the flange and the subfloor. Now, didn't notice this until we went to go install this extension kit, and I'll get to that later on. But their bolts, the positioning, the grooving for the bolts, let me move this out of the way, was north-south instead of the east-west position of the toilet. And what they had done is they had made their own grooves for these toilet bolts. And that tells me that they installed the flange completely wrong, because the toilet is supposed to sit this direction and not this direction, which is obvious by the water inlet there. So they screwed the whole installation up of the toilet flange, so we had to get this kit so that we didn't have to cut the pipe, run new plumbing underneath there. And it's a good thing we had this, because I modified this to fit with the problem that they created. But all in all, this is actually a spacer and an extension kit. And the spacers look like these. So this will allow you to go up 2+ inches depending on the orientation. So if you've got some crazy flooring or something, this will get you there. And this was the it's an Odie toilet flange extension kit. Pretty easy, pretty simple to do. It's got some self-tapping screws that we used. It'll go through the existing flange and secure to the top of that, and it has a gasket that mates the old flange to the new stuff, so whether it be a spacer. And in this case, we didn't end up needing the spacer, which I thought we would, straight over to their flange. So you may be able to get a kit that has no spacing kit and just the additional extension flange. Simple instructions. So right now we're going to go ahead and get the wax ring installed on this, and that's just a wax ring. That's another Odie product. This is a jumbo reinforced wax ring. I believe they had a double wax ring on here to try and get a better seal on there, because they were below the floor surface. So we just got the jumbo. We're going to put that on there, and the instructions say to put this on the back of the toilet first and then seat the toilet, but it's actually easier if you seat it on the flange and then put the toilet on top, because it's easier to line up that way. Because once your bolts are in, you know that you're pretty much where you need to be, and you just press down pretty good and get that ring to smash. So that's where we're at. Other than that, the grout went in fairly easy. We're still not technically supposed to be working on it. We used a pre-mixed grout for our floor. Overall, it looks good. I mean, for my first big tiling project, it's not too bad. We did notice that some of the tiles on this end shifted, And by shifting, I mean they went up and down. This went down, that went down, and this one unfortunately went up. So we had to put a little extra grout on this side. We're going to have a transition piece that goes here, so you're not going to hit any of those sharper edges because of the raised portion. And then the trim hopefully will cover up most of that issue. But all in all, it was a project that could have been a little bit quicker, but because of our weather, we have 3 outside walls. This room stayed colder than we liked, so that slowed progress down quite a bit. Because a lot of the products that we were working with need to be above a certain 64 degrees and whatnot to set right. So we're looking for good sunny days. So after we get the toilet installed, we're going to be touching up the paint on the trim here for the window. We're going to get that sanded down, get it painted. We're going to be doing some switch replacements. We're going to, this will focus. We'll be changing these beige, beat up and cracked. This one's completely shattered. We're going to be replacing the outlets and the switches to white. So everything in here is going to be white with the exception of the vanity. And then we'll be doing the vanity install hopefully within the next couple of days, once the grout has fully sealed and is completely heavy traffic ready, which should be in another 24 hours. So here we are. I believe this is part 3, so stay tuned. Okay, so we're doing a little update on the bathroom. Got the toilet installed finally. Had to do some work on the flange like I mentioned in another video. Got the vanity installed. Fixtures are all working. Doing the painting the trim. Sorry for the bright lights there. Got the trim painted up. Going to be painting the door trim here and the door. Going to be putting on the outlets. Come to find out, we knew that this had access for a dryer, but we always wondered, well, where's the water supply so you could have a washing machine in here and not just a dryer? I had gone down into the electrical room where the breaker box is. I call it the electrical room. It's a storage room with a breaker box to flip off the power so I can change out the plug outlets and the switches. The switches and the other outlets that are in here were on a breaker that was labeled as laundry room. Well, our laundry room is down in the basement, and it's where their laundry room was. Then I got to thinking, well, this probably was the laundry room. So I flipped the breaker off, came up here, found out, sure enough, all the outlets went out with the exception of this one. This one was labeled as the washer outlet. So I flipped it off, came up here, checked it, this one went off. So it got me curious. I followed the gas line down into the basement, goes into the actual electrical room, just above the breaker box. And I noticed there were some water lines that came up, and there was also a PVC pipe that came up. So somewhere in this wall that they drywalled over are water lines and a drain pipe. So they completely got rid of all that stuff. This stuff, like I said, was hidden behind some weird cabinetry they put up here, and a coat rack, which actually came out about 2 feet off of this wall. So anyway, this used to be the laundry room. It's got a perfect space for it. It's large, so I don't know what we're going to do with all this space. My wife wants to put in some mud room type stuff, some coat hangers that just individually hang on the wall. And we got a lot of white in here. We installed a new light. I'm not going to show you the fixture with light on here. Installed a new light. It's LED. It's about 1.5 inches off the ceiling. Very low profile. On the inside there's a switch, so if we wanted to change the color temperature we could. I have it on the cool white because we have a lot of natural light that comes through this window, so I wanted it to match. And our kitchen is actually cool white right here. that is what warm light looks like. It's a softer glow. We have fixtures up here, so we're doing the black and white theme throughout the kitchen and the bathrooms, but overall the project could have been a little bit quicker. We have extremely cold temperatures. This isn't a garage wall, outside wall, so it was really hard to get paint to stick. Thin set took longer than expected. We're in the negative temperatures at night. I think we were down to negative 15-ish or so last night. The high today was about 11, so it's cold in here. This is actually a functioning vent, so it's not sealed, it's not insulated. There's some plastic bags that the previous owner has in there, so cold air is coming in, making it even colder in here. But all in all, the project was okay. We've got a mirror we're going to hang up, we've got the racks we're going to hang up behind here, and we'll call this room done. And then we're going to be going into the master bathroom, and that's going to be a nightmare. I can't wait to show you. So alright, on to the next.